says it will call up 60,000 additional reservists as it wants to expand its military operation in Gaza City.
A fourth person has died in Italy from suspected botulism food poisoning, sparking concerns of a wider outbreak.
Israel says it will call up 60,000 additional reservists as it wants to expand its military operation in Gaza City. Additionally, they will also lengthen the service of 20,000 reservists currently serving. A military official speaking on condition of anonymity said that forces will be stationed in parts of Gaza City where the IDF has not yet operated and believes Hamas is still active. The call-up comes against a backdrop of a growing campaign of exhausted reservists. They are accusing the government of perpetuating the war for political reasons and failing to bring home the remaining hostages. Meanwhile, negotiators scramble to strike a ceasefire agreement between Hamas and Israel in an effort to end Israel's 22-month-long offensive in Gaza. Human rights groups have increasingly warned that the humanitarian crisis would further worsen in the Strip, where most residents have been displaced, vast neighborhoods lie in ruins, and communities face the threat of famine.
Syria's Foreign Minister Assad al-Shibani met with an Israeli delegation in Paris on Tuesday in an attempt to de-escalate tension in the region. The talks were brokered by the United States, who have been pushing for the two countries to normalize relations amid a recent surge of tensions between them. The meeting marks the first time Syria has acknowledged holding direct talks with Israel. The two also spoke about restoring a 1974 ceasefire agreement, which had established a buffer zone between Syria and Israel, according to Syria's state media. Shortly after former President Bashar al-Assad was overthrown, Israeli forces took control of the UN-patrolled buffer zone and have launched multiple strikes across the country since then, including on the Defense Ministry building in Damascus last month. Neither Syrian nor Israeli officials offered an official statement outlining details about what was said during the meeting.
NICAP member Mukhara, real name Liam Og Ohana, appeared in court in the UK on Wednesday over allegedly displaying a Hezbollah flag on stage at a show last November. Wednesday's appearance at the Westminster's Magistrate Court is the second for the Irish rapper, following an appearance on 18 June, after which he was released on unconditional bail. The 27-year-old rapper was greeted by crowds chanting "Free Mukhara" and waving Irish and Palestinian flags.
Whatever happens is going to be a positive result because we're not going away. We support Liam Og, we support NICAP, we support Palestine. So the state have placed themselves in a stupid position. They can kick it down the road, make him come back again, and there'll be twice as many people here the next time.
His fellow band members also arrived at the court, according to local media reports. The NICAP have been a vocal supporter of Palestine in the Israel-Gaza conflict and sparked controversy for their repeated and defiant pro-Palestinian support during concerts and festivals. They have consistently denied supporting either Hamas or Hezbollah. Since Hezbollah was banned in the United Kingdom in 2019, it has been an offense to show support for the Iran-backed group.
A 62-year-old woman died in Sardinia on Tuesday after eating poisonous guacamole in Italy's fourth death from food poisoning in several weeks. Her death comes after another woman in Sardinia passed away after eating the same food. 2 children remain in hospital. An additional 2 people died in Calabria, with all victims showing signs of botulism, a rare but deadly illness caused by a toxin attacking the nervous system. Authorities have launched an investigation into the potential outbreak. Botulism is caused by eating improperly canned, preserved, or fermented foods. In 2023, Italy recorded the highest number of botulism cases in Europe, with 36 confirmed reports.
Hungary's Ministry of Defense launched an investigation into the theft of parts from a decommissioned MiG-29 fighter jet. The parts, including radar equipment, were stolen from a military airbase 2 weeks ago near Kecskemét, a city in central Hungary. A former pilot who flew the aircraft explained to Euronews that the parts could only have been stolen by someone with the necessary expertise.
Ha egy laikus valamit el akar vinni egy repülőgépről, akkor azért nem tör be egy NATO bázisra. Nem tudja, hogy hol az őrség, nem tudja, hogy mikor jönnek, nem tudja, hogy mit akar elvinni.
Additionally, the aircrafts are made out of heavy equipment consisting of multiple components. Stealing these is not something that can easily go unnoticed.
Ez itt mögöttem a legnépszerűbb szovjet vadászgép típus, a MiG-21-es, amiből összesen 10 000 darabot gyártottak. Bár ez sokkal régebbi, mint a MiG-29-es, arra jó, hogy szemléltessük, hogy a tolvajoknak korán sem volt könnyű dolguk, fel kellett mászniuk a szárnyra, és ebbe az aprócska pilóta fülkében kiszerelni egy több mint 200 kg-os eszközt, majd ezt elszállítani titokban a kecskeméti repülőtérről.
The military airbase is protected by cameras, barbed wire, and a 24-hour guard service. The jet's protection no longer falls under the armed forces, but instead is overseen by a private company. Although the Ministry of Defense has launched an investigation, this does not guarantee that the findings will be made public, as the results could be classified at any time for national security reasons.
NATO Secretary General, you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Mark.
Seated around the same table at the White House, 5 European leaders, the President of the European Commission and the Secretary General of NATO all rallied around the Ukrainian president to support his demands in the face of Donald Trump. EU is back at the negotiating table on a possible peace agreement between Ukraine and Russia, according to this expert.
I dare say that the EU is back, but now we must stay firm and show determination. And that also means the willingness to accept risk, especially by giving a security guarantee to Ukraine with boots on the ground.
The European priority was to push for security guarantees for Kyiv to be an integral part of any possible future peace agreement, to protect Ukraine from another Russian attack in the future. In a U-turn, the U.S. president hinted for the first time that the U.S. might provide Ukraine with security guarantees.
Trump said this time that Europeans have to deliver a security guarantee coordinated by the United States. That's already a change of view, because initially he says this was our job and the US or NATO would not be involved. So there is evolution there in the good sense, but still it's very short on detail.
What remains to be agreed is what security guarantees the US and EU would be prepared to provide to Ukraine. Best would be the one closest to Article 5 of the NATO treaty.
A security guarantee means that I promise to go to war if your security is threatened. Everything less than that is support, but it's not a security guarantee. The best way to make that credible is by pre-deploying troops in Ukraine after a ceasefire or a peace agreement.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Western allies would formalize security guarantees for Ukraine within 10 days.
Is Paris Europe's most deadly capital during heat waves? In a post shared on X, France's Minister of Culture, Rachida Dati, stated that Paris is the deadliest European capital in terms of excess deaths during heatwave episodes. Dati criticised Paris's mayor, Anne Hidalgo, as well as David Belliard, a Green candidate for the 2026 race, stating that the city's 4 climate action plans had failed to address the issue of heat waves. When it comes to excess death rates, Dati's claims are true to a certain extent. A 2023 study assessed excess mortality rates due to heat and cold across 854 European cities, examining data from 2000 to 2019. While researchers found that London was the capital with the most excess deaths related to heavy spells of cold weather, Paris had the most excess deaths during heat waves. In particular, the 2003 heatwave led to record-breaking temperatures and thousands of deaths. However, there are certain factors related to geography and large-scale weather systems which make the French capital particularly vulnerable to heat waves. Environmental epidemiologists told Euroverify that although authorities can work on urban planning projects to address climate change, large-scale weather systems will always have a huge impact on heat waves. These large-scale systems influence air pressure, temperature and precipitation. Epidemiologists also told Euroverify that a number of European countries, including France, have learnt lessons from the 2003 heatwave by improving their meteorological and heat health warnings, as well as heat action plans.
Which EU country produces the most beer? Brewing beer is part of Europe's culture and also its economy. In 2024, EU countries produced 32.7 billion liters of beer, a yearly increase of 0.6%. The low or no alcohol beer sector performed even better, reaching 2 billion liters in 2024, an increase of 11.1%. Germany is the top producer of beer with 7.2 billion liters, about one-fifth of the EU total. Spain comes second with 4 billion liters, followed by Poland with 3.4, the Netherlands with 2.2, and Belgium with 2.1 billion liters. But when it comes to exports, the Netherlands is in first place, shipping 1.5 billion liters of beer in 2024. This is, however, a 12% drop compared to 2023. After the Netherlands, Germany and Belgium share the second place for exports, followed by Czechia and Ireland. The biggest importers of beer are France, Italy, Spain, Germany, and the Netherlands. According to the World Health Organization, alcohol consumption in Europe is well above the world average, and it warns that no form of alcohol consumption is risk-free. Even drinking small amounts can cause more than 200 diseases, injuries, and other health conditions.